and welcome back to Your Path to Career Success, the podcast that helps you build the skills, confidence and strategies to thrive in your career. I'm your host, Catherine. Whether you've just stepped into a leadership role or you're aiming for the next level, your ability to interact with senior leaders confidently, clearly and with purpose can make or break your influence. You're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a key leadership skill that every new manager and aspiring leader needs to master: communicating effectively with senior stakeholders. In this episode, I'll be sharing number 1, the mindset shift needed when speaking to senior stakeholders, 2, practical strategies to prepare for high stakes conversations, and 3, common mistakes to avoid and what to do instead. Before we jump in, grab your favourite beverage, find a comfy spot and get ready to map out your leadership path with those light bulb moments. So let's get started. When you're communicating with senior leaders, it's not just about passing along updates, it's about translating your work into strategic value. That requires stepping into their shoes, seeing the world from their vantage point, and tailoring your communication to what matters most to them. So what does matter to them? Senior stakeholders are generally focused on the bigger picture: strategic direction, return on investment, risk mitigation, and long-term business impact. They're thinking in terms of, how does this affect our trajectory, our people, our profits, or our reputation? And most importantly, they're short on time. Every meeting, email, and update is one of dozens I receive that day. They're relying on you to distill the noise, filter the relevant points, and deliver insight that enables smart, quick decisions. As former PepsiCo CEO Indra Nooyi once said, "Whatever you're doing, make sure it connects to the strategy. Don't just inform, influence." As a new leader, one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make is this: you're not just sharing information, you're enabling better decision making. That means your value isn't just in what you say, but how it helps others move forward. Say you're leading a project rollout. You're tempted to update the stakeholder on the meetings you've had, the tasks completed, and the hours your team has logged. But ask yourself, what does this person really need to know, and why should they care? That one question acts like a lens, helping you sharpen your message and frame your input in ways that align with their priorities. Instead of, "We've completed 12 of 15 technical tasks and are awaiting sign-off," try, "We're on track to deliver the system upgrade 1 week early, which will reduce operational downtime by 30%. We need your approval on X today to maintain that momentum." Can you hear the difference? The second version speaks their language: outcomes, timelines, and business impact. Another key to understanding stakeholders is listening to them. What are they consistently asking about in meetings? What concerns do they raise? What KPIs do they refer to most often? As Stephen Covey said, seek first to understand, then to be understood. When you take time to truly understand what drives your stakeholders, you can communicate with empathy, relevance, and clarity. 3 ingredients of real leadership presence. Now that we've explored the mindset shift from information giver to strategic partner, let's get practical. What are the specific strategies that can help you communicate clearly and confidently with senior stakeholders? This is where your preparation and intention really pay off. Communicating well with senior leaders isn't about being slick or overly polished. It's about being relevant, focused, and outcome-driven. Here are 5 proven strategies that will elevate the way you engage with senior decision makers. Number 1, know your audience. This is step 1, and it's often overlooked. Do you know what this stakeholder is responsible for? What keeps them up at night? What does success look like for them? If you're meeting with the CFO, they'll want to understand the cost implications. If it's the Chief Operating Officer, they'll care about efficiency, risk, or delivery timelines. If it's the HR Director, your message may need to highlight people impact, engagement, or compliance. As Amazon's leadership principle puts it, leaders start with the customer and work backwards. In this case, your customer is the stakeholder, so begin by understanding their world. Before your next meeting, take 5 minutes to research their role, their past priorities, and their communication style. It can make a massive difference. Number 2, lead with the headline. Senior stakeholders don't want to sift through paragraphs to find the point, so start strong. Imagine you're writing a news article. Your headline comes first. Instead of, we've completed several stages of testing and have begun integration with the vendor's platform, try, we're ready to launch the new platform next week and it's 15% under budget. Now that's a headline that grabs attention and gives context. If more detail is needed, they'll ask. Your job is to make the first message land with clarity. Number 3, focus on outcomes, not activity. One of the biggest mistakes new leaders make is reporting what they've done, not what it means. Think impact over input. This shows maturity and strategic thinking. Don't just say, we hosted 5 team workshops. Instead, say, the workshops identified 3 process bottlenecks and the proposed changes are projected to cut response time by 20%. This kind of shift tells senior leaders, I understand the business priorities and I'm delivering results that support them. Number 4, be solution oriented. Here's a golden rule. Never bring a problem without at least one potential solution. You don't need all the answers, but showing you've thought critically and constructively demonstrates ownership and initiative. For example, we're facing a delay due to third-party integration. I've identified 2 possible options to move forward. A, bring in additional internal resource, or B, rescope the feature for phase 2 and welcome your steer. This shows you're in control, not overwhelmed, and that you're engaging them as a partner in the solution. Number 5, stay calm, credible, and composed. Sometimes you'll be put on the spot. You may get questions you don't have answers to, and that's okay. What matters is how you respond. Try this. That's a great question. I don't have that data on hand, but I'll follow up by adding a specific time with the details. You'll come across as honest, composed, and reliable, which are exactly the traits senior leaders are looking for in emerging leaders. As leadership coach Marshall Goldsmith puts it, what got you here won't get you there. That means moving from execution to influence, from task-based updates to business impact and strategic alignment. Now, let's be honest. Most of us have learned to communicate with senior leaders the hard way. Trial, error, and a few uncomfortable silences in high-stakes meetings. But the good news, you can avoid the most common pitfalls with a little foresight and intention. Here are 5 key mistakes new leaders often make and how to avoid them. Mistake number 1, overloading with detail. There's a difference between being thorough and being overwhelming. New leaders often want to prove they've done the work, so they include every step, every metric, every moving part. But senior stakeholders don't need the how, they need the so what. Think of it like this. They want the executive summary, not the appendix. When you're asked for an update, resist the urge to give a play-by-play. Instead, highlight 3 things. 1, what's happening, 2, why it matters, and 3, what's needed next. As Winston Churchill said, if I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. Brevity is a skill, and senior leaders notice when you've mastered it. Mistake number 2, not tailoring your message. What lands well in a team stand-up might fall flat in a boardroom. Failing to adjust your tone, content, or style for the audience can come across as tone deaf, or worse, unprepared. For instance, you might give a metrics-heavy update to a stakeholder who's more people-focused, or skip the financials when talking to someone with a budget ownership. Always ask, what's their lens? What do they care about most? A one-size-fits approach is a fast way to lose engagement and credibility. Mistake number 3, going in without a clear ask or purpose. Senior leaders are busy. If you book time with them or have the floor in a meeting, make it count. Avoid vague updates like, just wanted to share a few things we've been working on. Instead, get crystal clear. There are 2 things I need your input on. One is a decision about next steps, and the other is a risk I'd like to flag early. This shows you respect their time and you're leading a conversation with intent. Mistake number 4, being defensive. Here's the truth. Senior stakeholders will challenge you. They might question your numbers, push back on your proposal. It's difficult what-if questions. It's not personal. It's their job to stress test ideas and protect the organisation. But one common mistake is getting defensive, flustered, or overly apologetic. Instead, stay calm, stick to facts, be open to feedback, and if needed, say, let me come back to you with a clearer picture. Confidence isn't about knowing everything. It's about being accountable, open, and steady under pressure. Mistake number 5, not following up. This one is subtle but powerful. You might communicate brilliantly in the moment, but if you don't follow up with what you promised, the impact fades fast. Senior stakeholders need to know they can rely on you to close the loop. So after every meeting or key conversation, ask yourself, what was agreed? What's the next step? And who needs to know? A short follow-up email summarising actions, decisions, or next milestones goes a long way in building trust. As leadership speaker Craig Groeschel puts it, people would rather follow a leader who is always real than one who is always right. And being real means staying responsible before, during, and after the conversation. So let's bring this to light with a quick scenario. You're leading a project that's running behind due to a vendor delay. You have a meeting with the director of operations. The ineffective version would be to say, we're behind schedule because the vendor missed their deadline. We're trying to chase them. The more effective version is, we've encountered a delay due to the vendor missing the milestone. To mitigate the risk, I've escalated to their senior account manager and proposed a revised timeline that keeps us within budget. I'd like your input on prioritising features to meet our delivery window. See the difference? It's proactive, composed, and solution focused. So let's bring everything together that we've talked about today. Communicating effectively with senior stakeholders isn't about being perfect. It's about being prepared, purposeful, and positioned to add value. Here's a quick recap of what we covered. In the first part, understanding the senior stakeholder mindset, we explored how senior leaders think. Big picture, results focused, and time poor. The key takeaway, you're not just sharing information, you're enabling better decisions. Always ask, what does this person need to know and why should they care? The second part was the practical strategies for impactful communication. From tailoring your message to leading with the headline and focusing on outcomes, these tactics help you come across as sharp, strategic, and confident. Remember, clarity beats complexity. Your voice needs to cut through the noise. We then talked about the mistakes to avoid. Don't fall into the trap of overloading, underpreparing, or being reactive. Senior stakeholders are watching how you carry yourself under pressure, and they remember who made their job easier. So here's my final thought. Great leaders aren't great because they speak the most. They're great because they speak with impact. You don't need a fancy title, years of experience to start showing up with clarity and confidence. You just need to understand your audience, deliver value in every interaction, and follow through with integrity. As Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. When you communicate with empathy, insight, and respect for their time, you build trust, and trust is what opens doors. So your action step for today. Before your next stakeholder meeting or presentation, try this. Write down one sentence that summarises the outcome you want from the conversation. That single line will help anchor your focus and sharpen your message. If you're a new leader navigating these conversations, remember, it's a skill you can learn and improve with practice. And if this episode helped you feel more confident in your leadership journey, please do share it with a colleague or drop me a message. I'd love to hear how you've put these tips into action. And that's all for today's episode. If you found today's episode valuable, hit that subscribe button, leave a review and share it with your network. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, just search Catherine Hall, the Career Owl. And if you're looking for more resources to support your leadership journey, head over to my website, www.thecareerowl.co.uk. I've got something just for you. Thanks for tuning into your path to career success. Until next time, keep growing, keep leading, and keep communicating with confidence.